Thank you for joining back on Your Anime Needs. This is your host, Kyle, and this is a McLearan production. We will be talking about Fairy Tail again. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of Fairy Tail, and I love to talk about it all the time as much as I possibly can. But I'm going to give a brief summary on the Tartorus Arc tonight, or today, for the viewers that are listening during the day. At the beginning of the Tartorus Arc, Fairy Tail had just beaten the Grand Magic Games by 1 point, and take note, Gajeel was telling Sting, it was Sting, that don't be crying over that 1 point, because it can make a huge difference. And sure enough, it made a huge difference, and Fairy Tail is now the strongest skill in all of Fiore. Yet again. But while the Magic Council members are talking about the Grand Magic Games and how Fairy Tail is now, again, top of the list, the conversation began to get a little serious, and then the topic of Zareth starts coming up again, and then one of the servants comes busting in saying, there's a huge emergency, sorry to be bugging your meeting, and one of the council members was like, dude, you are interrupting a very important meeting, what can be so important? Well, at that point, the servant says, there's an intruder, and at that point, the whole place explodes. All at once, and there's barely any survivors left, probably about two people alive, and it was Dornbolt and Org. Org, and someone, obviously, that was behind the explosion of the headquarters of the Magic Council had found Org still alive, and he's like, oh, no, we can't have this. So then, in front of Dornbolt, he kills Org, and this killer that was behind all of this, his name is Jackal, and it is also the same person that will be fighting Natsu, but I'm going to get back to that later. Jackal also mentions that he is a part of the 9 Demon Gates. He is one of the strongest, I will have to say. He also kills Lahar. I know I'm jumping back and forth, I'm sorry about that. Jackal also kills Lahar on contact with the explosions, and Dornbolt's like, oh no, we ain't gonna have this. But Org tells Dornbolt to live, get out of this place before he was killed. And while this is going on, Fairy Tail is continuing on as usual, doing the missions, doing the job requests, and Juvia, there's a nice little funny part there. Juvia is making stuff for Gray, and I've noticed that Gray and Juvia in the anime are starting to get closer together. Like, Gray is starting to let Juvia in a little bit, which I find kind of funny, because at first he was like, nope, we ain't gonna have this, you're too close, too much, no. So then she starts making bread that had Gray on it, and then also bread that had Juvia's face on it. And he's like, oh no, I'm not going to be eating something that has my face on it. So then she brings up the Juvia bread, and it's like, well, then eat Juvia's face. As weird as that sounds, but he's like, nope, not going to do that either. So then out of reflex, he grabs one of the rolls, not seeing that it was his face, and eats it. Elfman does the same thing, and it's even more hilarious because he's dumbfounded and not really paying attention to anything. So also, while the bread is being eaten, while Gray is getting over the fact that he just ate his own face, other mages around the guild started to look into one of Zarev's books to learn more about these demons that are going around attacking other people, like other members of the Magic Council. And they were trying to stop them and try to figure out where they were going to go next and find out how they were going to execute this. So then they found out that the strongest demon that Zareth has ever created, his name is END. And it's all caps. There's a period in between the E and the N, and the N and the D, and then obviously at the end of D. Panther Lily, as amazing as he is, he's wondering what these demons are. Like, who do you think they are? It looks like that, the book keeps referring back to something, and Natsu is thinking that knowing Tartorus likely has the book of END in it, he, being Natsu, suggests that, well, why don't we just attack them full on? And then Gajil agrees with him, and then Lucy is like, no, we can't do that, because if we do that, then END might show up, and he also might be a clue. And Wendy and Gajil are suggesting connections with their own dragons. And then Jet and Joy come up to the guild in a panic, announcing that something terrible is going down, and it's severe. So then the whole guild's freaking out, and then the headquarters of the council head, and forgive my words, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read and also talk at the same time. Yes, I'm using a website. At the ruins of the council members, medics are frantically going around trying to find anyone that's still alive, and Dornbolt then visits Cobra, and Cobra is trying to make a deal with Dornbolt, and Dornbolt is very hesitant about this. Very, very hesitant. And so Cobra's wanting to... Well, Dornbolt is actually wanting to know more about the Tartorus Guild, and the only person that knew more at the time, because he was a part of the Alliance, was Cobra, and he was obviously stuck in the jail cell that was in the headquarters of the council members. And so, out of a smart aleck remark, Cobra says, well, why don't you ask the people that are upstairs? And Dornbolt tenses up, saying, well, there's a problem to that. They're no longer available. So, but also in a way to where Cobra understands that they're dead. So then, in order to have this knowledge that Dornbolt wants, Cobra had put up on the table as an offer in exchange to release the members of his guild, or his comrades, which was Midnight Macbeth and all these other people. I think it might have been Angel, Speed Demon, and Richard. Don't remember him. This is also the same group that had Master Zero. So Dornbolt's like, no, I'm not in the mood to really grant this wish. And Cobra stands his ground completely, And he's like, all right, well, let me tell you this. I think it skipped that part, so we really didn't get to see much of that. But then it goes to a different scene, and now we've got some demons of the nine demon gates. I think there's like 3 of them. Yeah, we got 3 demons. 4 talking to each other. Kyoka meets up with Silver and the rest of the 9 demon gates. Okay, so all of them. With Silver and the rest of the 9 demon gates bearing Jackal and Tempester. Oh, that also reminds me. I forgot about Tempester. Tempester is one of the wind elements of the 9 gates, and he tried killing one of the ex-members of the council. However, he almost succeeded. The Thunder Legion was actually helping out this person, this member, because he had the restaurant. Sorry if I don't remember the name of the person that owns the restaurant, but they were helping him out, and as a job request. Well, then the whole restaurant was blown up because of Tempester, and he was stopped by Loxus because Loxus just came back from getting groceries, and he tried attacking him. Well, it wasn't really going so well because, when you're fighting air, you can't really get very far. So then Loxus decided, all right, well, let's see if I can inhale and consume Tempester, or my enemy. Considering that at the time there was Tempester had finally just decided, all right, well, I'm going to do one of my special techniques that I can only use, but my one weakness about it is that I have to retreat back to the castle, or back to my headquarters to get myself back together. Well, Tempester then turns into a black mist, and it's very poisonous, and it also causes magic deficiency syndrome, to where you can't have magic anymore. If you're a magic user and you consume this, then this disease will eventually kill you. So then Loxus decided to act on it, and he tried to consume the black mist that was Tempester, and he ended up not succeeding, but saved most of the town. And he ended up passing out face first on the ground, and Reed's like, no! Oh, why did you do that? And then it was Reed's job to get everyone to safety and try to get them into the hospital, or at least to where medics care. Fortunately, he was able to do that, but he shortly passed out, and Grandina of the real world, of Natsu's actual world that we're in, I forget her name, but she analyzes the condition of everyone that was attacked by Tempester, and Loxus was the one that had gotten the worst of it because he had consumed he inhaled the black mist, and it was stuck inside of him, and it was making him even more sick. So Tempester eventually just went back to the headquarters that he was supposed to be at, but with each time that he uses that technique, more of his memory goes away. So he can't remember who he was, what he was doing, and why he's there. That's his name. Yajima is one of the council members. And so then it goes back to Jackal, and Natsu is trying to protect one of the other council members, and he then protects. He is successful in protecting this council member, but Jackal is actually surprised that Natsu can eat the explosions, and obviously he doesn't know who Natsu is. So then fortunately, it is very successful. Natsu is very successful with this, and with Jackal's curse, it is not magic; it is a curse that he keeps on saying. This curse that he has is getting worse with Natsu because Jackal's curse is that any time that you hit Jackal, you will have a curse on you, and it will explode. Anything that he touches will explode. So then Natsu's like, oh, well, shoot. I hit him a lot, I kicked him a lot, so that's a lot of hits that's going to be on Natsu, and it's going to make him explode and tear him to shreds. Well, Natsu being Natsu, it didn't tear him to shreds, and he's still alive. And so he passes out for a while, and then Jackal runs away, tries to catch the ex-council member, and Jackal then plays a nasty move on Lucy when she's trying to catch up to him and try to beat him up. He played a very nasty trick because she was put in a position where Lucy had to choose between the council member's life, ex-council member's life, or the life of a woman that also was pregnant with a child. Either one of those two go. If she saved the council member, the lady died. If she saved the lady, the council member died. So she was not really sure what was going on. She didn't know how to really go about it. And then at the same time, if she moved, Jackal had put a curse on the ground to where if she moved, then she would blow up. So again, a demon, you're not going to get very far with a demon. He's nasty, he's malicious, he's absolutely all around bad. So then Natsu then figured out a trick. If Natsu punches Jackal, then he will then be able to put his hand in his mouth and take the explosion and consume the flames from it. And he'll essentially consume everything about the explosion. So then, that is how he beats Jackal, and I do believe that he has the lightning flame dragon that actually beats him. Yeah, the lightning flame dragon mode. And from that one punch, it eventually just knocks him out completely. And then, after that, Jackal is laughing, and he's saying, and he's laughing because little did everyone know Jackal had made himself as a bomb, and it was going to be strong enough to where it destroys the whole town. But Happy saves the day, takes Jackal by the scarf, and throws him up in the air as far as he possibly could. And that is actually when I thought that I just died on the inside and thought Happy died. And I was just, oh my gosh, it was terrible. I really did almost cry. And but Happy didn't die. He just shows up with an afro because of the explosion. But, you know, it's understandable. Who'd want a nice afro on a cat, a talking cat, no less, after realizing that, oh my gosh, he's still alive. But that one part was taken care of. Well, the council member that Natsu was supposed to protect, he ended up knocking him out because he was talking too much, and he was going all loopy, and he wouldn't really shut up. So once he woke up, Natsu's like, alright, you better tell us what's going on because you're saying that you don't know anything, but you're also saying things to make us believe that you do know something. So what's going on? So then that is when he confesses to Natsu that there is a device that can wipe away magic completely. And the only way to do that is break the seal that 3 council members have, that not even the council members know that they have. So it's a mix-up that is absolutely brain boggling, and it's just really confusing. But no one knows about the location. It's so secret that not even the people that were supposed to know about it don't know about it, and therefore this most secretive place in the world. But turns out that 2 out of the 3 people were already killed, and so there's only 1 person left. Obviously, but when Elfman and McLearan were trying to protect their council member, turns out the council member had already died, and one of the 9 demons had already gotten to him, and she had the power of controlling people. Elfman had unfortunately gotten stuck into that, and he almost killed his sister yet again, and he was then controlled to put a bomb into Fairy Tale Guildhall and blow up the place, and Kana had tried to stop him because she thought this is actually kind of weird for Elfman, and she followed him, and then when she realized that, oh my gosh, that's a bomb, Lacrima, we need to get out of here, the bomb had exploded, and it looked like there was no survivors, and it made me believe that there was no survivors. So fortunately, spoiler alert, no one died. Kana acted fast and had used a trick that one of Urza's friends had taught her. Remember the guy that had the cards to where he trapped everyone inside? Well, she used that one. She used that trick on everybody in the guild hall, and she then told Happy Lily, Panther Lily, and Carla to fly them up onto the headquarters of the 9 demon gates, which is a huge cube that's floating, and it's really creepy. And it even had a gravitational pull to where it pulled everyone onto it. So then Happy Lilypad and Panther Lily and Carla then got caught up in had gotten caught up into the gravitational pull and then released everyone. Kana had then released everyone onto the land, and then that's when a full-on battle started going on. And even the people that were sick, like the Thunder Legion, including Loxus and the ex-council member, were also taken care of. And so that just there's a lot to go on about this, and quite honestly, I wish I could talk more about it, but that is for you to decide. If you want to continue listening to your anime needs, especially whenever I'm talking. If you're not interested in watching the anime, then by all means, from this episode on, I will talk about Fairy Tail as much as possible, as well as other animes, and I will also be on a Skype call with either Chris. It's probably going to be Chris, and I will talk to him about some animes and go into detail on that. But for now, I must go, unfortunately. So thank you so much for listening, and this is a McLearan production, and my links are Kyle Weekend 1, or at Kyle Weekend 1 for Twitter, and then for Facebook it is Kyle Weekend. And you can also visit the Your Anime Needs page on Facebook, and that should be it. If you have any questions, by all means, post any questions that you have on the Your Anime Needs page, and we will all answer as honest as we can and to the best of our ability. Keep watching anime, and until next time, hope you all enjoyed, and see you again in the next episode.